have a major impact on the world, one that you need to be educated about. But we'll cover the basics here today. So there's actually really it's a better term for global warming. Does anyone know another term for it?
Warming the globe.
No, it's become more popular and it's more accurate. Joe?
Greenhouse gas.
No.
No, wasn't that?
Climate change. So climate change.
Oh, yeah.
Because, climate change includes lots of stuff other than the temperature of the earth rising. Global warming makes it sound like that's all that happens, but there's more to it. But global warming is caused by carbon dioxide, but there are some other gases as well, accumulating, building up in the atmosphere. Where does most of this carbon dioxide come from? Factories. Anytime humans do what?
Breathe.
Well, breathing is a small, people always say that, and we do exhale carbon dioxide, but that's relatively small compared to this other big category. Burning fossil fuels. Anytime fossil fuels are burned, or any fuel is burned really, it releases greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide. Okay? You put gasoline in your car runs. One of the things coming out of the tailpipe is carbon dioxide. Coal is burned in a power plant. Some of the smoke being released, that's carbon dioxide. If you have natural gas that runs your hot water heater in your home, the exhaust from that has carbon dioxide in it. So as we use fossil fuels, we release billions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And this is a problem. Because carbon dioxide is a gas that sort of acts as a blanket across the earth. And the thicker the blanket, the warmer it gets.
Why do we have such a cold winter?
Well, because climate change is about sort of the overall average temperature of the earth over a long period of time. And there may be some winters when it's very cold, and some summers when it's cold. But on average, when you look at the average temperature of the earth, it's been increasing, and it continues to increase. And it happens because of this thing called the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is not that hard to understand. If you've ever been in the car on a hot day and the windows are rolled up, if you haven't been walking, if you've been in an actual greenhouse or a sunroom when the sun's shining in on a hot day, what happens to the temperature very quickly? It rises. That's why it's dangerous to leave a pet or a child in the car without the air conditioning when the windows are up. Because what can get into the car? No? What can get into the car?
Heat.
Yeah, heat from the sun. What can't get out?
Heat.
Heat. It traps the heat. It allows sunlight in because windows are transparent to out through the radiation of the sun. But then once that heats up the car, that heat cannot escape. Okay, it's blocked by the glass. If the windows are up, it can't get to the outside, and it builds up and becomes warmer and warmer. That's what happens when we increase the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide gas allows sunlight to hit the earth. It's like it's transparent. But then when the earth gets warm, when it releases that heat, the carbon dioxide keeps it in. Doesn't allow it to escape back out to space. Okay? And so that makes the temperature of the earth warmer. It's like you're increasing the thickness of the blanket whenever you add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Now this is a main problem. If you were to look at a graph of carbon dioxide levels, if you look at since 1850, it looks a lot like the human population graph. It just skyrockets. And that's because of what? Yeah, the Industrial Revolution. You guys learned this in social studies. Is that the Industrial Revolution is when people really started burning large amounts of fossil fuels, especially coal. And that burning of those fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide into the air.
What's so bad about the ocean?
But, so let's talk about the kind of, okay, so the Earth's warm. I mean, now it just won't be as cold in winter. That'd be kind of nice, some people might say.
No.
But it's not, because just the temperature is only a starting point. as the temperature of the Earth on whole gets warmer, what that means is areas on the Earth where there is ice permanently, like where? Antarctica, where else?
Alaska. Greenland.
Parts of Alaska, Greenland, the Arctic. Yes, all those areas generally have ice. And what is ice? Frozen water. So as that ice melts, the water goes into the oceans. And as it goes in the ocean, what happens to sea level? It rises. Well, we'll talk about that in the next slide. The other factor is when the ocean gets warmer due to this global warming, that heat in the ocean is what fuels our storms, like tropical storms and hurricanes. The energy in those storms comes from heat from the ocean. And so as the oceans get warmer, then those storms become more intense. There's lots of other factors as well. Heat waves increase, which kill people. Plants produce more pollen, which leads to increased allergies and asthma. Places that used to grow one type of crop because of their climate, as the climate changes, they can no longer grow that crop anymore. Insects that carry disease can now occupy wider ranges because the earth has warmed up. So there's a whole series of effects that happen as the earth gets warmer. Jackson?
My dad told me that in like a couple of years, like if the water keeps rising, that all the floor will be underwater.
I'll show you the graph in a couple slides.
So my mom, we talked about this the other day, my mom said the latest glacier that dropped into the ocean is the size of us.
Yeah, as these glaciers melt, it's called calving, where hunks of the ice fall off in the ocean and begin melting. So again, the greenhouse effect allows sunlight in, but then traps that heat close to the earth, not allowing it out. Okay, again, you see that in that car.
What about the hole in the ozone layer?
That's really not related at all, because ozone doesn't trap heat like carbon dioxide does. So they're sort of two completely separate problems. But often, students confuse them. Okay? They think the hole in the ozone allows more light in and it gets warmer. They're not at all really related. So try to keep them separate in your mind. Ozone layer